Hey everybody, we just want to welcome you to the very first Core Student Ministries update. We're going to be doing these weekly on Tuesdays. We're going to be releasing these videos to Facebook and YouTube. And basically all this is, we want to give a weekly recap of what we talked about last week. We want to give some announcements and some updates and some things, announcements about what's going on in the future. We're going to have some fun, some games and trivia and things like that you're even going to have an opportunity to get some points for your tribe students. So that's going to be kind of cool. It's just going to be a good time. We decided to do this, and I'm just looking forward to just taking this time each week to give you a little bit of insight into our week and what we've got going on. And it's going to be a lot of fun. So I want to jump right into this, and we want to start by today just kind of going back over what we talked about last Wednesday at youth. The last few weeks, we've been in a series called Resolution Runner. And the first week, we talked about running to God. And then this past week, we talked about running away from sin. Javi, what out of last week, when we talked about running away from sin, what was the thing that stuck out the most to you as we went over that teaching last week?
Yeah, one of the things that stuck out to me the most was you sharing with the students about it's okay to run from sin. It's okay to run from those bad influences at school. A lot of the times, I know because I was there at one point, we feel pressured to go along with the flow. Yeah. But I felt like that was a very, very powerful moment when you told them it's okay to say no to the bad things, you know. It's okay to run away. You know, it doesn't make you any less of a person. It just makes you a wise person. And that's what stuck out to me the most. I know some students approached me afterwards and told me that it was awesome for them to hear, wow, like it's okay to run away. I don't have to go along with the flow the whole time or all those things. So that's what stuck out to me the most. Yeah.
And I think that when, as I was studying and preparing for that, the biggest thing to me was, like, I feel like so many times people feel like there's this thing where they have to, I've got to stay and fight this. You know what I mean? It's I'm going to dig my heels in, I'm going to fight this. And a lot of times, I mean, all through the scripture, the Lord said, don't try to dig your heels in and fight it. Run from it. Like, get as far away from it as possible. And so I was excited about that. I'm excited about the weeks to come and what God's doing there. But before we go any further, I want to take just an opportunity to start our very first trivia question. Now, here's the deal with these trivia questions. These are going to happen at random times. They might not happen every time we do one of these web shows. It might. It's not always going to happen in the same place. You know, it's not always going to happen at the beginning or the end or the middle. We're going to switch it up. Why? Because we want you to watch and find out when it's going to happen. But these trivia questions are questions for students who then want to come on Wednesday nights. If you come this Wednesday night and you answer our trivia question, then your tribe is going to get 5,000 points. So your tribe has an opportunity to get 5,000 points. I'll even say this, I'm not limiting it to the first person who answers, at least for this time. I won't limit it to the first person who answers. If you come up to me and give me the answer to this question for your tribe, then you will get points for your tribe, 5,000 points. Okay, here is my question. I read a scripture this past week, and it was in one of the Timothys. It was in one of the Timothys. I'm not going to tell you which one. And the scripture talked about running away from sin. It talked about fleeing and going the opposite direction, running away from trouble. If you can tell me this week what that scripture was, and what the reference was, and which Timothy it was in, your tribe will get 5,000 points. Now I know you're saying, man, Pastor Rick, you didn't give us any clues. That's right, I barely gave you any clues because I want you to be taking notes each week and keeping track of what we're doing in the service. And so if you can answer that question, then you can get 5,000 points for your tribe. So there it is. I mean, plain and simple. And listen, on that note, if you're like, man, what is tribes? What are these points he's talking about? All this stuff. You need to get to youth on Wednesday nights. So I just want to take time right now to just invite you. Hey, we're having a lot of fun. We're getting in the Word. We're having awesome times of worship right now. God has been so faithful in our services. You need to be here. If you're not here Wednesday nights and you're in 7th through 12th grade, you are missing out. So make whatever effort you got to make to be here, because it's awesome. So I guess right now, Javi, why don't we talk about some of the stuff that we have upcoming for the next few weeks?
Of course. For the next few weeks, going off of what Pastor Rick just told you about the invitation for the core does happen every week. It happens every week from 6:30 to 8 o'clock. Doors open at 6. So come on by, bring friends. Don't come by yourself. Again, if you're a student from 7th to 12th grade, come on by, bring friends. Do not come alone. That's not what we want. We want you to bring someone with you. We also have the Surge on Sunday mornings. Every Sunday morning at the 11 o'clock service, we do have a special class, special teaching for our 7th and 8th graders. So if you're a 7th and 8th grader, come by Sunday morning during the 11 o'clock service. We meet in room 100, and we'll be sharing some very interesting teachings with you then.
Now, if you don't know, I just thought about this. If you happen to not know where room 100 is, okay, if you come in the main entrance of the church, then you go left down the hallway, and room 100 is the room that's right by the offices. It's going to be right by the exit to your left if you're coming in to the main entrance, or you could come into that side entrance and room 100 is right there.
Right there.
If you need help finding room 100, ask somebody that has a name tag on, or anybody that's in leadership in the church, and they can help you find that. I don't know. I just feel like maybe somebody might not know where room 100 is.
Exactly. So thank you for that. And the most recent event that's coming up is the Valentines Banquet. So this dinner is going to be happening on February the 10th at 6:30 p.m. in the afternoon. Now, this is to raise funds for every single one of y'all to be able to get to camp. So it's important that you guys promote it. Promote it around the church, promote it at school, to your tios, tias, abuelos, abuelas, grandpa, grandma, tito, tita, chacha, anybody. You need to let them know to come and support you all. And what does this look like? So they're going to go on a Sunday morning. We're selling these tickets Sunday mornings after the services. We have 3 services. We have the 9 o'clock, the 11 o'clock, and the 1 p.m. After every service, we're going to be selling these tickets. So what that does is it buys them a dinner for that night. They get to come here to church at our activity center, and that's where we're going to be meeting that night. Now, you, the students, the role that you're going to play that night is potentially help us with greeting them, potentially maybe even serving. But the most important area will be childcare. We are going to provide childcare that night, and that's where you guys come in to help us out. So any questions, anything else in regards to that, feel free to come up to us, and we'll answer any questions. But please be mindful of the fact that we are having this event in February, so let's start telling people about it. Let's start bringing others and letting them know about the tickets. If I'm not mistaken, the ticket is
It's
$15
for one person.
For one person, and then $25 for couples.
Yeah, exactly.
And then it's $10 for the first child and $5 for after every child after the first one.
Yeah, it's weirded kind of funny, but it's okay. If you bring 1 kid, it's $10. If you bring 2 kids, it's $15. If you bring 3 kids, it's $20, and so on and so forth. So real quickly, one other announcement that we almost forgot. Taylor Johnson will be here on January the 27th. That's a Friday. We're going to have a special lunch for students 7th through 12th grade. That's you guys, 12 to 2. He's going to be here. We're going to provide lunch. He's going to just come and tell some jokes and stories. And man, if you've never heard Taylor Johnson, let me tell you, he is an absolutely phenomenal comedian. He is very well known around the U.S. He travels all over and does youth camps and conferences and all kind of different big events. And I'm just privileged to be able to call him a friend. And so he's able to come and hang out with us for a little bit and do some of this stuff. So this is a completely free event. You're not going to want to miss it. So I think that's it for announcements, right?
Yeah.
Well,
announcements, that's it.
I just want to say one more thing before we go. Obviously, we don't have this down to a science yet. This is our very first try, our very first attempt at doing this. So hopefully it's not terrible. Hopefully when we go back and watch this, it's not the worst. But we want your help. We want your feedback. If you have any suggestions or ideas for different segments and things like that we can do, you can always email us here at the church. Rick at gscconnect.com or Javi at gscconnect.com. Javier.
Yes.
Yeah, see,
It's not Javi, it's Javier. You want to
With a-
roll the R at the end. Javier. It's
at
up to you.
whatever.
Whatever.
At gscconnect.com.
Yes.
Okay, so go there. You can send us your suggestions, your comments. One of the things you could do, you can even give us just feedback, just lots of stuff. So we are open to that. We welcome that. There was another thing. Oh, questions or man, I can't remember what I was going to say.
Questions, yeah. Questions. If
Right?
if you guys have any questions or have any
Oh,
additions
that's what
or
I was
anything
going to
like
say.
that,
Questions
then we
about
can-
questions about the message from the
Yes.
week before. That's what it was. And then suggestions about. See, I wrote this cute little note that said questions and suggestions, and then somebody just came in and opened a door and really threw me off. Okay, so the thing about the email. Okay, if you have questions about messages and things like that we've said on here or that you've heard on Wednesday nights, or if you have any suggestions for upcoming episodes, then just let us know. So other than that, hopefully you've enjoyed this. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll be back next week.
See you guys then.
I apologize, I probably walked over your recording. I did not realize you were recording.